Okay, great. All right. Would like to call to order the August 1st, 2022 Franklin Township Board of Supervisors Workshop Meeting at 7:03. I'll give it PM tonight. In attendance is myself, Vice Chair Donna, Supervisors Morris, and Dowling. Jim and, David are on vacation this week. Also in attendance are the Township's Operation Manager, Jeff Eastburn, and Township Secretary, Sarah Patton. Is she on or? Okay, she may be coming a little later. Township Controller and Office Manager, Melissa Ortega, is absent. And there's, it looks like one member of the public. Okay, so can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag
of
of the United
America and to the
Republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I start with public comment, I just want to note that Mr. Swift from the Avondale Fire Company is going to join us today and give his report. So we'll have him do that after we do the minutes. So let me just start with public comments. This public comment may include any comments related to tonight's agenda. Commenters must state their name and whether they are a resident of the township or a non-resident taxpayer in the township. If you do not identify yourself, your comments will not be included in the official minutes. Okay, do we have any public comments? Okay, not hearing anything, I'll move on. Nancy? Oh, I'm sorry, I took your pledge of allegiance. That's okay. Nancy, I'll turn it to you for the minutes.
Can she hear?
Donna, can you hear me?
Now we can, Nancy.
Okay, I've got a glitch here. Okay, I hold on. Let me see if I can pull up the meeting, the agenda. It seems like it only wants to do one thing at a time. Like me. It's definitely glitchy. I make a motion to approve version 1 of the Board of Supervisors Workshop Meeting Minutes held on June 6, 2022. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
All right, not hearing any. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries, is it 3-0?
Yeah, that's great, Nancy. Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jim, turn it to you. Oh, no, Mr. Swift.
Thank you.
So Mr. Swift from the Avondale Fire Company will give his report. Thank
Yep.
you. For your
Thank you.
patience.
Thanks for having me. I'm the president of the Avondale Fire Department. I try to come every quarter, so this will be the second quarter of the year to give you a heads up where we're at. We have tried this year a new incentive program where we have crews on station from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to man the station. It's paid off. Our trucks are going out the door, but crews on them. So as far as for the first 6 months of the year, volunteer hours for in-house station and calls equals 7,334 hours. In-house training hours is 1,092 and meeting hours is 758 for a total of volunteer hours for the first 6 months of the year is 9,384. I'll provide you guys with copies of this so you want to. 6 month EMS report. EMS is for the ambulance response. For the first 6 months of the year, we've had 731 calls. Out of 731, there were 7 of them in Franklin Township. I did just get the July's report, and that volume now is up to 11 calls in Franklin Township, counting July's dispatches. Total transports out of that, meaning we transported to the hospital, BLS, which is basic life support, was 273 calls. 174 of them were ALS calls. Total transports were 400 and 47, refusals 71, recalls were 68, no services needed were 84, assist the fire department 37, and what we call a QRS response is 20. From 6A to 6P, dispatches were 452. From 6P to 6A, dispatches were 279. Total dispatches that we missed were 71, 46 of them were transport. What that means is our ambulance was either out and somebody covered for us. It's not like we didn't respond. We were already committed. Calls that were missed, none of them were in Franklin Township. The Avondale Borough had 4 missed calls, New Garden Township 59, and West Marlboro 1. Dispatch to arrival time is about 7.9 minutes. Dispatch to available in quarters is 66.63 minutes. There again, we're running Christiana, we're running Chester County because we're still waiting for Jennersville to hopefully Christiana, I'm sorry, yeah, Christiana. So God bless them. That's EMS report. For the fire report for the second quarter, we had a total of 245 dispatches, 3 of which were in Franklin Township. Average volunteer per call is 7.8, from 7 to 3, from 3P to 11 PM. This is where we have the staffing. We've been averaging about 13.4. And 11P to 7A is about 7. That's where the career staff's been picking up. We use a lot, the career staff, we've been utilizing them a lot overnights. Dispatches there again, the busiest time is 7A to 3P. And 3P to 11A was 36, 7 to 3 was 66, and then 11 to 7 was 32. That's that for that. And then just to give you a heads up, we did purchase 3 new AEDs because ours were expired. You know, you buy that stuff and after about 3 or 4 years, you can't get pads for them anymore. So we actually went on with, we ended up piggybacking with Goshen Fire Company and a couple other ones. So we got them for, it's about $2,200 a piece for about $6,600 for 3 of them. So like I say, we were able to piggyback on some people to do that. Since I was here the last time, I think I told you we had a PEMA grant was $15,000 that has since been closed out. That was for the fire department. A PEMA grant for emergency EMS was $8,325 and that has since been closed. Mushroom grant, we got $2,500 that's been closed out. We did just get informed that we got the Act 10 EMS grant for EMS equipment, update the equipment for $37,237.
Great.
So, you know, we have a lady by the name of Tina Myers that is our bookkeeper now. And I've instructed her to, I said, I don't care what grants out there, take the time to fill it out. So with that said, I mean, we got one Chester County American Rescue Plan grant. We have one for Walgreens, which is an unknown amount. We have one for CCDES grant. That's an unknown amount. And we did apply at Wawa and got denied that one. And we also have, the grant for the CCDES is going to, we put in for like $187,000. So one thing that I will say is our fuel, and it's because we're running, well, number one, fuel prices has tripled, sometimes doubled. I asked Tina to pull out last 6 months of 2020, or the first 6 months of 2021. It was $4,371. So far to date this year, we're at $9,500. But there again, we're running to Christiana, we're running to Chester County. So I'm hoping when Christiana Care takes over Jennersville, that's going to ease that pain a little bit. We have had, excuse me, for fundraising, we've had 3 boot drives, which is in the intersection at Avondale. Sometimes we get hollered at because they say we're holding up traffic. But at the end of the day, we did one on 419 and we raised $4,571.32. We did one on 531 where we raised $32,000 $3,299. And 7/14 was the last one we raised. We tried a Friday night and we raised $3,593 for a grand total of $11,463.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
So-
really good.
great.
And we do have a chicken barbecue scheduled for September 17th, I believe it is. Last time I was here, I reported that New Garden Township is giving us $300,000 to purchase a new ambulance, which is here, it's in stock, it's running. With that said, our old Ford ambulance has over 100,000 miles on it. We had the salesman come down and look at the box. The box is in excellent shape. The back of the ambulance is in excellent shape. So I did sign a contract with them to remount that. That's worth $157,000. I gave them $10,000 down. I got 18 to 24 months to raise the funding to pay for it. So I feel good about that because it gives me time. But that's how long it's going to take to get a new chassis and get the box. Since we purchased that new ambulance that New Guard helped us out with, that was a $318,000 expense. Now that includes the new stretcher, that includes the stair chair, that includes the striker. It's all striker stuff. It's all battery operated stuff, so you don't hopefully have any back injuries. But since then, Goshen has took and ordered one, and it's a Lifeline versus a PL Custom, and the price is $367,000. That's how much it went up in this little bit of time. So I feel safe about raising the money to do this. Then that'll give us two fairly new ambulances running out the door. So.
Can you explain what you mean by mount? So you take the outside of the ambulance and you,
What they do is called a remount. You basically take the Ford chassis and you take the box in the back and you lift it off the chassis. You put a new chassis under, put the old box on. Yeah, the whole chassis is all brand new.
I got you.
It'll have a brand new motor, it's a brand new Ford.
Inside of that.
It's going to be a 2023 Ford F550
Okay.
is what it'll be. It'll be a diesel 4-wheel drive. It'll be basically a sister to the one we have now. The only thing, the salesman said, "Oh, I can get you a 2022 one." I was like, no, I need time. And the only thing that's going to change is the front end is going to change a little bit.
Right.
So
And so so it's going to cost you $100,000, whatever, as opposed to
it's going to
$360,000.
cost $157,000 versus
$157,000.
$318,000.
Wow. Wow, that's
So
fantastic.
I think it was a wise decision, and I feel confident that we'll be fine as far as trying to I'm going to probably do a capital fund campaign with the businesses that we serve,
Okay.
just to see what we can do.
Okay.
Push come shove, I have to take a small one. But like I said, the other thing I have is I don't know who may be available. August 25th at 5:30. I know it's early. We would like to have a budget meeting at our firehouse to discuss budget. I know a lot of people want it in sooner than later. Basically, I think it's easier when everybody's in the same room to go over it, then a lot of questions are asked and we can get everybody hopefully on the same page and asking the same questions. I think we'll be ready by then. It may not be etched in stone, but it'd be pretty daggone close. Like I said, the main thing we're looking at right now is staffing. We're losing. We've lost a couple full-time people and we have replaced them since. But like I have one girl that's going to AI DuPont's going to work in the emergency room, making $7 more an hour in full benefits. I said, I can't compete with that. I said, God bless you. I said, I hope you work out great. I said, now she did agree to stay on part-time. But I mean, we are backup staffing. What our goal is right now is we're trying to do 5 people in the daytime, meaning 7 to 5. Or I'm lying, 7 to 5. We're trying to have 5 people if we can. That's our goal. And what that does is that gives me 2 to go on the ambulance, gives me 3 for the fire trucks. But if there's a second ambulance call in the district, that gives the other 2 guys or girls to go out on the second call, and I still have 1 guy there to drive the fire truck in the daytime. knock on wood, it's been working pretty decent. And then, but you know, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I keep my eye out on social media, you know, Newcastle County, Ellesmere, Mill Creek, Newport. Everybody on Kirkwood Highway is hiring right now, from Oxford to Longwood's hiring right now. I mean, it's crazy, right? It's just a crazy business to be in. And, you know, you're gonna have the medic units, I'm sure Bob Hoskins has formed, you know, the medic units in the western end that serve Parksburg and all that area, they're getting moved to Elverson and Honeybrook. So that's gonna leave that area wide open. So it's just the nature of the beast right now. So I'm hoping Christiana Care gets into Jennersville, you know.
No reason to expect not, right? They,
No, I could tell, I work at Penn Township and I will tell you, there is a female, I don't know her name. I apologize. I want to say it's Cindy or Cynthia. And she's kind of heading up from Christiana. And she is one tough cookie. She's got them on the fast track. There's been electrical engineers in there already. There's been mechanical engineers in there already. They've surveyed all the land. She's got them on the fast track. So I'm hoping that, you know, it'll take some burden off of us running all over the
oh,
place.
yes, save you some time, save you some
I
gas.
think you're making my talk
Yeah.
feel better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Sunday night, we had Ariam to sit in the West Grove. Because between West Grove and Oxford, they were 5 call deep.
Oh, wow.
So we relocated one of Ariam's to West Grove so we would have quicker access either way. So we were covering Avondale, West Grove and Oxford for a while. You know?
It's really neat how you guys work together. It's a beautiful thing.
You have to.
It's
I
not
mean,
competition. It's really bad. How do I cover
Right.
the
you
residents?
know, what I tell everybody is when the pager goes off or the phone goes off, we're all here for the same reason.
Save lives.
If you're
yeah.
not, you're not here for the right reason. So, you know, that's what we're in the business to do. And
Well, we're glad you're here.
I appreciate everything the township do for us. You know, it's without you guys, we can't survive. I mean, it's the truth. So, but, you know, like I say, if anybody's available on August 25th, I'll have Tina send out an email.
Yeah, I'm on vacation now.
Oh, sure.
No.
I mean, Jeff, you know,
I
what
will
your
send
deal
you-
is.
I'll talk to David.
Yeah, we'll send a good rep.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, we're going to just go over where we're at and where we're hoping to be, and if we can work some stuff out, fine, if not, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
very
Very
much.
welcome for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for keeping me on the agenda.
Anytime, you know that. You are very important to
Is
us.
that your-
Thank you so very much.
Avondale Fire Company donated their light poles so we could use that movie night. So that was a
Cool.
great thing, safety wise for the residents. And we appreciate that.
We have a light tower, we have a sign, we'll just put alongside the road.
Okay.
Hey, we're moving on.
Hey, you're fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Jim, you're going to take them. Oh, so I thought that's not you. So Jim, why don't you do it? So Jim's not with us. So why don't you do it, Jeff?
Mr. Reagan, are you on, sir?
And audio, I'm here.
Yeah, you go.
Hey
Wonderful.
there.
I just wanted to introduce you tonight, Ron. I know you've got 3 different subjects, so I'll let you start. You should have the ability to share your screen, sir.
All right, let me try, see if it works. Okay, can everybody see this map that I pieced together from old subdivision plans and some new CAD files?
Now we're getting.
Yeah.
If you can make it as big as you can make it. I don't know if you can make it any bigger.
That's as big as fits on my screen, so.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a paper.
Jeff, is that in the book?
Yeah, it's bigger. That's good.
Okay, the reason I wanted to piece together the old subdivision plan and show you that is that the stormwater management that was approved for the old original subdivision plan was inadequate, and then not all of that got put in. So that called for a swale. Can you see my cursor?
So before you start, Ron, just
Yep.
clarity, we're talking about Mackey Court
Yeah,
first. right?
Mackey Court and Lavender Lane,
Right.
or Cavender Lane, sorry. And that's had a historical problem with drainage flowing off of the road onto some of the lots, and we've been trying to correct that for a while. And as I said, the part of the reason for that was that what was approved back many years ago on the subdivision plan probably met the ordinances at that time, but in today's standard, it would not meet the ordinances, and it's, in my opinion, it's not adequate. But then not only that, but we didn't put everything in that was on the plan. For example, there was supposed to be an inlet and a pipe across Mackey Court at the intersection with Cavender. There was supposed to be an inlet toward Franklin in between Mackey and Franklin Road along Cavender that dumped into a dry well. None of that was put in. There was some, I guess, swaps or negotiations that were done at the time the subdivision was constructed. And there was a couple of inlets that were put into Cavender and a pipe that led down to what was designed on the plan as a temporary sediment trap. There was an arrangement made with the property owner to get an easement and make that a permanent stormwater basin. That's down on lot 26 to the left of the screen. We had some hopes that that might be able to be used for stormwater management, so we had it surveyed. But then when we surveyed it, we found that it was very shallow, not in the best condition, and we had, a realization that it really wasn't going to be of much benefit for us. So we're still looking for a best way to control the runoff, get it safely through the subdivision, off of Mackey Court, off of Cavender. But we're hampered by the fact that we don't have any land other than the rights of way. So we don't have a place to go put stormwater management. We're also hampered by the fact that within the rights of way, we have conflicts with utilities. So we're scrambling to figure out how to get the water to go where we want it to go to have the least negative impact on the residents. A few years ago, I don't know the exact time frame, but there was a complaint by what shows on my plan as lot 18. I think that's 5 Mackey Court's the address. There was a complaint there about water running off of the turnaround. So the township did install a berm that kept the water from running off of the turnaround onto that property. But unfortunately, what it did was just move the problem down to lot 19, or I think that's, is that 3, 4? That's 4,
Three.
Jeff?
3, sir.
3. Yeah, I guess it's 1, 3, and 5 on that side. So now that gentleman has been talking to us and saying he has a problem. We tried to help him temporarily by having some silt sock be put in to help divert the water away from some of the critical areas on his lot. But we need a permanent solution for that. We've also had complaints from a gentleman down on Franklin that gets water off of this subdivision that comes down off of these lots through the lots 18 or 19 and gets down to his property. I came up with a couple of options to look at, and the first option would be to look at extending that berm that we put in along lot 18 in front of lot 19 and allow the water to flow down slope in between 19 and 20, 1 and 3. That area, it wouldn't impact any houses, but it's going to flow across 2 lots off of Mackey Court and then flow across 2 lots that front on Franklin. So that's going to involve having to get those neighbors' permission to do that. And it would be this is option number 1. that would be water flowing physically across their lawns, which high probability is going to be objectionable to all of those folks, or at least some of those folks. The other option would be to have it flow along Mackey to the same point, but instead of having it flow overland, it would be to have it flow in an inlet and then via pipe down to an existing cross pipe across Franklin Road. So that would put it out of sight, out of mind. You wouldn't have to worry about water flowing across the surface of your lot, which we would have to temporarily dig up and disturb your lawn to install a pipe. Again, we would have to get permission from those 4 lot owners in order to be able to do that. That I think has the most promise if we can get the neighbors to agree to it, because as I say, that puts the water in the ground in a pipe, safely gets across all these lots, and it's not a nuisance later on to these individuals. The next option would be to go ahead and put an earthen berm all the way down to get the water to go to those 2 inlets that were negotiated for the cross pipe across Cavender to take the water down to that basin on lot 26. I think that could be a solution to let the water pass through, but what it's going to do is it's going to introduce more water on lot 26, which I'm not sure that gentleman is going to want to have happen. We do have an easement to utilize, and that basin has to be continued and maintained as a stormwater basin, but it doesn't say anything in the easement agreement about us altering its use. So we talked to our solicitor, and the solicitor agreed that he didn't think we had the right to do that without having that easement amended. And he suggested that we possibly go in with some sort of offer to take the maintenance responsibility, which right now is part of that easement agreement that was done back time the subdivision was done, is lot 26's responsibility, that the township would take on that maintenance responsibility for the privilege of, routing more water down to that basin. That has some possibility, but again, when we looked at that basin, it's not as in as good a shape as we had hoped, and it's not as big as we had hoped. So it's not an optimal solution. Ultimately, you get into option number 4, which would be basically to go in and create a much more aggressive stormwater management plan, in which we would look at acquiring some land or an easement across some of these people's property to put in something that's much more of an invasive kind of, we would have to dig up and put in another dry well, or dig up and put in another basin, or something of that nature. So it would be more invasive on the lots, and it would cost a lot more to install it. I'm not sure we're ready for that or not, and I'm not sure we could even get the easements from the lot owners, because most of them have mature trees and landscaping, and anything we did would come in and disrupt all of that. So my recommendation was to pursue the option where we would try to put the pipe in between lots 19 and 20 and 23 and 24 on this plan. So essentially where I've sketched in an inlet pipe, an inlet pipe, and another inlet, we would look at doing that scenario if we can get permission from all these property owners.
Yeah, so that was option 2, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Ron? Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like based on how you presented it, that seems to make the most sense.
Okay, I'm going to add a big sticky wicket to your proposal. I live at 121 Peacedale Road, and all that water is coming down into my backyard. But that's not a problem because there's a creek already there. Now, if you can tell me, Kathleen and Franklin, the house that's there has a creek on its on its Franklin downside. Is that the creek you're talking? Could you channel the water through a tunnel down into that creek? Because there's a creek already there.
Yeah, that's where, unfortunately, the subdivision plan that I cut and pasted this map together that we're looking at didn't go
Right.
that far north. But yes, you're right. There is actually a stream, I know some about, if you can see my cursor, about
Right.
right over in this area here somewhere, there's
Uh-huh.
actually another larger culvert under the road where that stream comes.
Right.
There's a
So you would-
smaller culvert about where I put this inlet box that goes across the road.
So you
The
would use
distance-
that creek.
This distance from this end of this pipe down to that culvert is not very, or down to that stream is not very far. So
No, that's, yeah, no, I thought
that
that
water
was,
would, yes, that water would go into that stream eventually.
yeah,
over
because I
short
talked to Jeff earlier and I thought that might be a really good option because the creek is already there. It runs down into the main creek, down to the preserve, but that culvert there. Now, would you put in another one up further than that? You're
Well,
talking about two of them?
what I was proposing was that we would have the berm that would sort of protect 18,
Correct.
5. We would extend the berm to protect 3, lot 19 as it shows on
Correct.
the map. Then that water would all be picked up in an inlet and then all conveyed down and across Franklin Road and go into that stream.
Okay.
Now,
Is that where the bamboo was and now there's not bamboo?
No, it's the same creek. It's the same creek, but it's way down further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it help, Ron, if I put up a satellite map or not to share?
it might a little bit, if you.
See, I've walked that whole, I know that whole area by heart. So, right, if it came down that one creek at the end of that Kathleen and Franklin, I think that would be your most optimum.
And it's going the direction you want.
Because, right, I always say, why fight nature? If you're gonna put it, you might as well put it where it is already.
Yeah, the only thing that this approach would not do would be the runoff that comes off of lots 19,
Right,
19 and
Right.
23 and 24 proper. It's not going to do anything to slow that up or reduce that.
Right.
It's just the water that comes off of Mackey Court and flows
uh-huh.
onto those lots. That's the water that's going to cause to bypass those lots.
Now, do you think that the people up in the cul-de-sac would be interested at all between running something above the berm down to the creek through, where Di Francesco, down to the creek there?
Jeff, can I take back the screen share?
Sure can.
I mean, we could probably put a pipe across Mackey and another inlet over here and pick up a little more water up here. This
Uh-huh.
water right now all comes down and stays for the most part on the south side of Mackey and goes down.
Uh-huh.
And it does create a little bit of a problem with this intersection because the inlet that was supposed to pick that water up was never put in.
And I know both those houses sit really low. So I know both on the bottom side of the cul-de-sac there. But I wondered if you could run something between those houses down to the creek.
We could look some more at that. I guess it
I'm
sort of comes down to how big of a project do we want to make it? How much
Right,
do we want to
right.
spend? I was trying to find something that was cost effective just to
Yeah.
fix
Oh,
this
sure.
water problem.
I was just thinking the most direct route to get the water to the creeks.
Yeah, well, I think
So- so-
this probably is the most direct route because it has the least impact. That's
Right.
the side of all these lots, all 4 of these lots, there's very little development along this side. There is a row
Right.
of pine trees here.
Uh-huh.
We could stay to the east of that enough that we wouldn't impact those pine trees.
Yeah,
Pipe right down to that cross pipe.
right.
Dawn, if you could just explain, so with this approach, would water flood your yard?
Well, see, I'm up on a hill. I'm up on a big bank. So my creek is way down. So that's why, long story short, that's why I'm all concerned about the pond on the DeFrancesco property, because the pond is the headwaters to that creek anyway. So yes, I get major floods there, but if the water came down from there, from where he's talking about, it won't do any more than it always does. So I don't have a problem with that water coming into that original creek.
Okay,
I
Yeah,
think-
no,
Ron.
I think his idea, his number 2 idea for the first thing that goes into the creek would be the best one, but then you have to worry about what's going on up at the cul-de-sac.
I was gonna say the same thing, yeah.
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 So we'd have to ponder it, but I am in favor of the first concept of it.
So Ron, does it make sense just to take this one step at a time? So we do this, and then in a year from now, if we need to do more work, then we do more work.
Right.
Yeah, I would recommend that we take that approach, and to basically the first step would be to approach all 4 property owners and make sure we have a buy-in from them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then maybe what we could do would be to put the squeakiest wheel at this point has been lot 19. So I would say we could probably come in and put this berm in and let's let it flow overland till next summer.
Uh-huh.
And see, is that
See if-
something, is that acceptable to them? Because it would get to the same place. It's going to flow down here, get into that cross pipe and go into that creek that Don is talking about.
well, it makes sense to me.
I can't tell whether it's that one or that. I know that, well,
Is this something we need to vote on today then to expend the funds?
I don't
Yeah.
think we can do
I
that.
would,
Go-
I
go
would
ahead.
suggest that if we need to, we get a motion that we would talk to the 4 property owners.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, Nancy. If we at least can
Yep.
agree, so, and I don't even know if we need a motion for that, but just allow Jeff and Ron
To
to,
pursue.
yeah, to talk to the
Great.
4 homeowners, see if they would even buy into this.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, so that's the next step.
Right, but I agree with you, Nancy. We really need, once that's done, we need to come back to the full board
Mhm.
and talk about, okay, let's assume that it's positive. We don't know yet, but
Mhm.
that we come back and we'd have to talk about, okay, what does that look like? What does that cost?
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, because I
something-
mean, from what I see from Ron's information, that's about 45K.
And that's a rough number. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows with the economy today, how things are
Right.
going.
Now, is that to put the berm in?
Ron, I'm
Yeah,
taking
I mean,
that-
if the berm was, so it would be 5,000 to put the berm in, another 45 to put the pipe in. So you're talking a total probably of about 50.
Okay,
You know, I mean, you saw the bids that we got
yeah.
on Church Hill. It ranged from under 100 to 250 or
Six.
something like that. So they can be, we get real bids, they can be all over the place.
Uh-huh.
Do we have any federal relief funds that we can apply towards that?
Oh, I believe that's what we would use. This is
Yeah.
MS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
ARPA
okay.
money.
Yeah, this would, this is what it would be, the relief monies would be exactly used for.
But the one thing that Ron and I are asking for, and just Ron, me and the township, is to reach out to lots
Mhm.
19, 20, and then 23 and 24 to
Mhm.
talk with them. And then start working with Guy,
Mhm.
Donatelli. I mean, we can't move forward without the board. And it needs further discussion, and then the board would have to vote on putting it out to bid.
Mhm.
Okay,
So, I think we're not gonna, I mean, I don't think we need to pass a motion. I think you just have our, Nancy, I'm assuming, it sounds like you're okay that we're given Jeff and Ron the go ahead to go talk to the neighbors and just get a sense of how they feel about this plan.
Right.
Is that okay?
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so Ron, that was number 1.
Yeah, just, the others are just quick updates.
Okay, great.
Ways Run, we talked about that last time. Actually, you guys talked about it. I showed up late and you'd already finished. So basically, we're meeting with the Verizon tomorrow to find out about a little bit more about those utilities to see if they can move them or we can get around them somehow. And then we'll finalize what we're gonna do there. That was basically an inlet pipe and an inlet. Maybe if we can get around Verizon, there may be another stretch of pipe and another inlet to pick the water up around that curve. So we're moving forward on that. We did get a cost estimate to put the line in for the first phase that we talked about last time. Jeff, I don't know if you've shared that with anybody yet or not. I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I think. it was-
I have not, because I wanted you to look at it and see if you had any comments first.
Yeah, I mean, the unit cost, I looked at the unit cost quickly and they were very comparable to what we got for Churchill Road, but I would suggest if it's okay, let's wait until we see what we can do based on the meeting with the utilities. Then if that means we've got to add an inlet and a section of pipe, let's get that number in there before we give a number to the board.
Right.
Churchill Road, we had a couple of tweaks that we're making to the alignment of the storm sewers to avoid a large tree. And we had a guide wire on a utility pole that we thought it would be easier to reroute the pipe a little bit than it would be to get Pico out to relocate that guide wire. So we've made that change. It really didn't have any impact on the cost of the installation. There will be a slight change in, we'll need to get replace 60 feet of 18-inch or 15-inch pipe with 18-inch pipe, but then we can use that 15-inch pipe over at Ways Run. So now we need to buy less 15-inch pipe over there, and instead we'll buy some 18-inch pipe. So that was the only real impact. We have we're on the surveyor's schedule to get the stakeout done for the contractor to start work. When we met with the contractor to do a pre-construction meeting, we noted that of what we had gotten delivered and stockpiled out there, we were short one end wall. It was on the invoice. We paid for it. They're aware of it. They're making it. Apparently it just got missed. And we're supposed to get what, delivery this week, Jeff? Wednesday or something?
Yep, I'm pushing for Wednesday.
Okay.
So when will work? So what I'm hearing is Churchill's going to start imminently. When,
Hopefully Monday, the 8th.
Great.
Yeah, probably likely next week.
okay. And then how about Ways Run? Is that this year or is that going to be? Is phase?
Yeah, what we're kind of the priority we have here is that we want to make sure we get Churchill done because that needs to be done for the paving.
Right.
And then once Churchill's done, then they can jump over to Ways Run, get that installed. And then we can move to this job if we come up with a solution, or at least just whatever, if it's the partial solution, we can get that partial work done this year.
Wow. Okay. That's, yeah, I didn't know whether Mackey Court we could get to this year, but it might happen, but definitely Churchill and Ways Run, you're confident we do that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
great. That's really excellent progress.
Ron's done a great job on this, so.
Well, this is such important work and I know the homeowners in the area, are really looking forward, especially the gentleman with the pool, right? He can,
Yes,
I keep telling Jeff, let's build something new because it's so much easier to engineer those than it is to fix.
yeah,
these.
but we don't want new construction. Well, I'll get Nancy on you. We don't want new construction if we don't
New
have.
township, a new pole building for the township.
Okay.
Something's a lot easier than fixing all these problems.
How
And
about
that's-
solar
go
panels
ahead.
on the roof, Ron?
So that's it for me, unless you guys have any other questions.
Nope. Great work, Ron. You always do such great work. You're a real
Okay.
asset.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm gonna run. I got 5 grandkids in the base and the downstairs because my 2 grandkids from the West Coast came in today to visit us for a couple of weeks. So
Enjoy.
I gotta go play.
thanks, Ron.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye now.
All right. Gonna move on to our next area of discussion, which is the comprehensive plan. We had a public comment. And of course, we're always open for new public comments if anyone decides to provide that. So Jeff, I think, was this discussed at the last meeting? Polls?
It was briefly, Paul Agassi had a few comments regarding trails and walkways for people. So, I did, it's a meeting that I had wanted today. I reached out to Paul Agassi. And then since Dave is on vacation, I wanted to reach out to Donna
Right.
regarding Paul's concerns. And Donna, please correct me. Every sense I got from Paul Agassi was he's fine for keeping the wording the same in the comprehensive plan, and hopes that the board will move forward at some point and start looking at our ordinances to see how we can strengthen those. And I had been in contact with the county today just to see if there's any grant money available. So, maybe we could do that come next year. And there seems to be a possibility. They're not promising it, but I'm going to have William, I always mess up his last name, Dugafoy, contact me in the next couple of days to see if it's a reality or not. And we would
Jeff,
have-
sorry, if you can just back up a minute.
Yep.
What is Paul Agassi asking for?
Yeah, I can take it on, Jeff.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
he saw the comp plan, and he was also there for when the PC had their discussion, and it was the word, it's all about pedestrian walkways. And he was suggesting at the beginning about changing wording from promote to prioritize. And both Jeff and I talked to him and said, look, the comp plan is like 99.9% there. As I said, we're always open to public comments. But I said to him, it sounds like your issue is not so much with the comp plan, but with our ordinances. And so, he made a really good point. He says, a lot of times people think of concrete. He said, I would really like to have us think about it, frame the discussion in a different way, which is talking about pedestrian walkways, which don't have to be concrete. They can be
Right.
something else.
Right.
And he said, what would be helpful is if we went back and looked at the ordinances, particularly, for new development and land development plans, to see, can we work on that? Can we work on that with the PC to make sure that we're moving away from concrete walkways to pedestrian walkways, and have a conversation about what those possibilities are, and make sure that's a discussion when a plan comes in front of the PC of the board. That is not, the plan comes to us, Nancy, and Dawn, and they just say, no, we don't want concrete, so let's not do it. It's make the
Yeah.
discussion broader and say,
Yeah.
okay, but we
A
do
path or
want some way
whatever.
to connect. So what does that look like? And
Right.
have
Well-
a conversation that way.
Well, and even
Right.
when they say pedestrian, it sounds like people are going to be walking through your,
Right,
so you have to
right.
be careful how you word everything.
Exactly. And I think, so, I'm only one person at that meeting with Jeff, and I just said, I would bring it back to the board. But I thought we would be open to look at the ordinances linked to land development plans, to see if there, and of course, we work with our partners, the PC, to see, is there some modifications we can make to make that a more open discussion where we broaden what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, that sounds good. Now, just out of curiosity, I have never actually seen the approved plan for the charter school, but are there walkways there that we've requested as they build this parking lot?
That is something that
That
I
seems
know
like a
there's-
really good opportunity to improve the safety out front.
I know it was on the plan, Nancy. I don't remember when it's to be built, but I know it's on the
Okay.
plan. It was discussed. I am confident
So
of that.
they will have walkways out front.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Whatever they're made of, whether it's concrete or
Right.
cinder, whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
So, once again, we're not a full, we are a quorum, and I think in general, I'm getting a sense, Nancy, you're okay with that, Dawn, you're okay with us looking at the ordinances. But I would bring this back to Jim and David
Oh,
at the
sure.
next meeting when we actually
Mhm.
do vote on the plan, to make sure we have, I can't, like I said, I can't
Full
imagine people saying no,
compliance.
yeah, but that we're all we're all on the same page. And I think it's a matter of just being open-minded and just taking another look at the
Well, I think
ordinances.
we're all looking at connective trail situations or something like that. So I think it's all in.
Honestly,
All of
Paul
it.
makes a great point because, concrete is impermeable. It's also just sometimes jarring. And we
Right.
are a rural community. As we
Right.
read what the comprehensive plan comments from the county, this is a rural, I can never say rural, but it's a rural community.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure concrete walkways are the right thing unless there's some
Right.
sort of Americans with Disabilities requirement.
Yeah, we're all the same. It's funny,
Yeah.
it's funny, Nancy, because my initial reaction, anytime a plan comes to the board and they say, do you want concrete? It's like, no. But that's not the question. See, that's the problem, right? That's not that shouldn't be the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You have to broaden it.
Okay.
Right.
So so Jeff, I'll
Yeah.
just turn it to you. Any other public comments that we've gotten?
We have not received any public comments whatsoever.
Except for Paul's.
None from the we did from Paul a couple,
Yeah.
yes, but none from any other public. And we haven't heard from the surrounding municipalities. And we haven't heard from the school district.
Okay, but we did hear from Chester County, which was
Yeah.
which was a
positive.
positive. So congratulations to the group that put this plan together, all the work that the PC did along with them. Just well done in terms that the Chester County was very happy with it. So I do want to announce to the public that we have one more shot at this. We have a public meeting on August 17th. So it's in 2 weeks. We'll come together and this will be the meeting where it's an actual we'll have a
Adoption.
stenographer and it's a very formal
Hopefully.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that final discussion on the plan and then take a vote from the board to see whether we approve this or not. So
Yeah, I was really happy with the counties. I don't know if the public has access to this. They probably do they'll have it with the minutes, but they're saying, yes, our focus on preservation of the rural agricultural culture and heritage of our township is appropriate
Mhm.
because of our designation as a rural landscape. And it's consistent with their master plan, which is called Landscapes 3.
Mhm.
you couldn't ask for any more
Yeah.
of a
Wonderful.
positive feedback than that. That was really beautiful.
Yep. And those things matter because townships that have, the townships up along the Route 1 corridor have a different designation. And the expectation is that the growth will be focused in those areas where there is appropriate transportation and access to transportation. So, they have a strategic approach. And I think our goals fit in nicely with their strategic approach, which is build where there's already infrastructure to support it.
Right.
All right, any other comments? Dawn, you good?
No, happy.
Oh, she's happy.
I'm happy.
You're gonna go out there and solve the rain problem, okay? So, I'll just go then to public comments. This is once again, this is public comments, include comments on anything attendees may want to share. Commentators, commenters must state their name and whether they are township residents or taxpayers of the township. Do we have any additional public comments?
I don't think we have any additional public.
Okay, well, I'm happy to say that then we're able to adjourn this meeting before 8 o'clock.
Wow.
So let me just make sure I get this right. Okay, 8:56. So I make a motion at tonight's meeting at 7:56 PM. That we adjourn the meeting. Can I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dawn. Any discussion?
Nope.
So all in favor, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, ladies, for coming. It was an excellent meeting. And we look forward to seeing you on the 17th.
Yeah.